will become more diverse. What we also need to do then is to work with businesses to improve their business planning, and that's what we want to do. I want Josh Pegg, who leads on the economy on the council, to do some work together with other councillors and community groups in that area to improve the business. We also need to improve our alcohol policy, in my view, because one of the reasons Brick Lane is in some difficulty is because there's just too much alcohol and, of course, illegal drugs washing up and down Brick Lane. Nothing to do with the restaurants, but on Fridays and Saturdays, a lot of people who are respectable people with families probably wouldn't choose to go down Brick Lane anymore. So we need to improve the quality of the offer there in Brick Lane. So there's a lot to be done. I can't guarantee that Brick Lane will survive, but we want to work with businesses to try to make sure that it does, and that it remains a curry capital. You asked also about what else you asked?
Washoki Mela.
Washoki Mela. So, and I think I'd answered that question, but we want the Mela to be an effective community activity next year. My understanding is the Mela comes in 3 parts. The first part is, some people disagree with one part of this. First part is the cultural part of the Mela, which is a traditional Mela. It's a cultural activity within the community, and that could easily take place in the Brick Lane area and Allen Gardens area. The second thing, which some people disagree is part of the Mela because it's a separate thing in a way, is the curry festival. It's about celebrating the cooking and that's a bit of a local addition to it, and we want to make sure that happens because that's a way of promoting the Brick Lane area. And the third thing is we tend to have a fun fair with lots of rides and things, and that's not really a Mela. That's more a fun fair, and that has traditionally taken place in a number of places, Weavers Fields or Victoria Park, and we need to work out where that can happen so that lots of people can have a fun day with their kids. But I think the traditional heart of the Mela is about the culture,
yes,
and we need to make sure that's preserved. That's particularly important because I keep talking to young people, young Bengali people, young Somali people, and I say, what about the Mela? Or what about the culture? So I went to a meeting once recently, and I've been to an event about Bangabandhu, about the founder of Bangladesh, and I said to these lads, I've been to this meeting, and they said, who was he? And I thought, goodness me, your grandparents would shake in their graves if they knew that you didn't know who the founder of Bangladesh was. So we need to make sure people remember where they come from and understand the history and the strong culture that they bring.